Welcome on another adventure in the high desert of Arizona. Today I'm going to hike to the top of a butte where I found a fort on Google Earth. It looks like a fort of some sort, maybe a couple dwellings. It's pretty cold today, so hopefully with all the wind I'll be able to fly my drone once I get up there, but I guess we'll see. Okay, I'll catch you when I find something. It's quite a climb so far. So I've gone around to the north side, and there doesn't appear to be much of a entrance. So now I've gone back around to the west side. I'm heading up to the south side, and hopefully there's an entrance up there. A few weeks ago, I got totally skunked on a beautiful ruin, which I have to go back at some point to try to get into. But hopefully it's not the same thing today. If it is, I'll try to get my drone up there. But it's pretty windy, so. Oh, awesome. Petroglyphs. This is a huge prickly pear cactus, and it seems to be protecting those petroglyphs. I'm going to see if I can get my way around them and not get all tore up by these cactuses. All right, so we're heading right up there. I hope you can see those. All right, so we're up there. There is a petroglyph of a deer. I'm not sure what that is. So this, I'm not sure what that is. If you have any ideas of what any of these are, please put them in the comments below, because some of these are pretty interesting. Looks like a star, maybe the beginning of a spiral. And this is almost like, boy, if I didn't know better, that was almost like a treasure map right there. Or maybe the layout of a house. Interesting. And then down below, down here, this is kind of common. I've seen a few of these like this. And, I mean, no petroglyphs are common, but I've seen this a few times. I'm not sure if it's a person or a lizard. I'm not sure. It's interesting. I gotta be really careful not to fall in this prickly pear down here. I just dropped my binoculars, so this is kind of precarious up here. So anyways, I'll pick my binoculars up in a second. Let me get a little closer to these petroglyphs so you can take a look. So, interesting. So these petroglyphs here, you can actually see the little pick marks that they hit, that they engraved the rock with another rock. And if we look careful here with this deer, you can see the peck marks and you can see the individual antlers. It's very cool. Very cool. Excellent. I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see more of the panel. I think I'm going to back up a little. Whew. Okay. So maybe that's a little bit helpful. As I was climbing around the side of this butte, I kept having the feeling like something was watching me. And I know that's just superstitious, but it just feels like somebody's watching me. I got an eerie feeling right here. This is odd. So I've only gone just a few more feet, but I don't know if you can see it up there, but there's another wall even higher than the first one. So we're definitely getting into a ruin. All kinds of pottery shards that somebody has picked up. So, let's see if we can get a good picture of some of them. So, here is some black on white. You can see it's tan on the outside, and you can tell it's the outside because of the curve. And then you can actually see the brush strokes right here. It's beautiful. So this looks like this is the natural color of the clay that it was fired with. And you can see all these little pieces of sand. And that right there was painted on. It's beautiful. And then here, this is a very thin piece, and you can see the little tiny black lines. It's very thin, and it's that red buff color on the outside. Also beautiful. Not part of the same vessel because of the thickness. Here is just a white inside. It could have been buff inside, but it is kind of worn off. And then you have the tan on the outside, and you can see the different colors. Actually, this is pretty close to the same color, isn't it? That wall is certainly overlooking the entrance the way I just came up. It doesn't look very tall, but behind it, it's much, much bigger, flat. Hopefully this wind isn't really bothering you. Very cool. Okay, and look at that wall up there. Yeah. All right. There's a lot of rocks here. Looks like it must have been a pretty good wall up here at one time, but it's mostly collapsed and fallen down the hill by the looks. But it's all of this pink stone, and there's absolutely no pink stone on this hill. None. All of this pink stuff was hauled in, and I can't believe hauling rocks up that hill that I just came up of. Whew, they must have had a better path to follow than what I followed. Wow. All right. So this is pretty cool. This is the first actual wall slash room that I found. And look at that corner. It's perfect. Wow, it's beautiful. It's a mixture of this pink or red stone and the volcanic stone from this hill. That is beautiful. Just beautiful. There's a wall right here, and there's quite a drop off below, but inside the wall I can see this right now, piece of pottery. With the amount of pottery now, oh, that's nice. That's black inside, all black inside. So with the amount of pottery that I've found already, this is obviously a dwelling, but it was a well defended dwelling with defensive walls by the looks, all the way up through the entrance, and then the wall on top is huge. We haven't made it all the way into there yet, but so this huge wall up top. Oh man, that's beautiful. Wall is actually separation of two like rooms. There's one here There's another wall right there. Defensive, storage, something. Yeah. Okay, this looks like it was built up also. We haven't made it up into the main, I'm going to say fort, but we haven't made it up there yet. So that's going to be the last push. In fact, I'll just take you along with me. Really hoping the wind isn't too bad. So from here, you can see that big wall, and then there's more walls below, and there's that center section over there, and then beyond that, over on that other section of butte, I can see all kinds of walls. So there's walls all the way along there. We're gonna check those out. I'm gonna try to fly my drone. The wind has to be blowing 25 miles an hour up here, so it may be a disaster. I may be searching for my drone out in the desert. We'll see. Sure is a beautiful day. Hopefully you can see that wall up there. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on these. I'd also like to thank the Desert Drifter, the Trek Planner, POV channel, and a few other channels out there that have really inspired me to get up and go out and find these places and bring them to you guys. So hopefully you've enjoyed all my adventures. Please comment if you have enjoyed it, or if you have any feedback for me. That would be great. All right, well, we're going to continue with this adventure. See you later. Okay, I just came along the top of this, turned over here, and here is a room, house, dwelling, whatever we want to call it. Walls all the way around. This semicircle wall here. Another wall right here. This is a massive, massive ruin. A lot of this doesn't even look like ruin because it's made out of the same rock as this whole hilltop. And it blends in amazingly. From over on the other side, which is over there, I can barely tell that these are walls. Barely tell. It is made out of some big rocks. There were some very large rocks piled up here. This is a big, big ruin. It's a beautiful day. It's cold in the wind, but if you can get out of the wind, it's amazing. It's a real beautiful day. All right, well, I'm gonna finish lunch and then see if I can get some drone footage of the big ruin over there. These look like a whole bunch of little dwellings to me. And that up there on top looks like a protective fort of sorts, where maybe everybody from here would go there if there was danger. But stretching out in front of me is many, many miles of just flat valley. And there's a river that runs down probably about a mile and a half. I can see the canyon. There's another smaller like wash right in front of me that probably had water at one time. So the water is probably a half a mile from here. So yeah, I'll catch you in a few minutes. What an adventure. What a huge ruin this is. One of the biggest ones. I didn't think it was going to be from looking at the Google Earth images. You could barely see only one wall, I think, from the Google image. But when I got here, there's many, many, many walls, many rooms. It is just huge. Hopefully we got some good drone footage. Hopefully the wind wasn't too bad. Well, anyways, thank you for joining me on this fantastic adventure to find a ruin that we found on Google Earth. It has been quite an adventure. All right, if I find something else on the way out, I'll stop and let you know. But if not, goodbye, and thank you for watching.